Hello everybody, I'm getting ready to install the Ideal Pet Products Rough Weather All Climate Super Large Pet Door. And I ran into a little bit of a problem when I was checking the installation. So over here I'm installing it under a window, and I used a stud finder to try to find where the studs are. When you have 16-inch centers and you have an opening that's 1/16 and 1/8 wide for the dog door, you're going to run into a little bit of a problem with one of the studs that runs underneath. So as you can see, I've marked it with nails after I found it with a stud finder. And over here is the inside edge of the left stud, inside edge of the right stud, and that's where the door needs to go right there. Plus I need to drill these holes. So what I have to do now is I have to cut out the opening, cut out this stud, and then brace it up, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So you can see now I've made my cutout for the dog door, and there's that cripple stud there on the right, and it's going to be right in the way just as I suspected. Over here on the left, I'm just to the right of the left hand side cripple stud, and that'll give me time for these room for these bolts that have to go through for the dog door. So I need to pretty much just cut this top and bottom and remove it. And then what I'm going to do is, once I get the outside cut, over here on the other side, I'm just going to replace this with another one. So I'm getting ready to cut the outside. I basically followed the template and put my cutout that I need to cut. I need to cut through stucco and some foam and some wood. So to cut through the stucco, I'm going to use this diamond blade on a 4.5-inch grinder. Remember to use all your proper safety equipment. That includes goggles, ear protection, and a mask for the dust, and gloves. Okay, now we got the outside cut, so it's cut to fit, and you can see that I've removed the cripple stud that was in the way. I've cut through that. And for the other side, what I did is I just removed that little piece of wood, and I got to cut those nails out. Then what happens is this new cripple stud goes in its place. I'll just slide it in here. Try to slide it in there, and then go ahead and slip it up in place, but I got to cut those nails off first. Well, you know what they say about best laid plans. Turns out I couldn't slip that cripple stud back in there, so what I had to do is I had to basically take the drywall out to here, and then I was able to slip that in some spot where I can get a good footing on a good screw into the drywall there. And then I was able to put a base plate in down here to support the bottom of the dog door. And this side here is all open, and I put a little piece there to gives the drywall something to attach to. This side will be, that's where the left hand side of the door opening is. So, and then on the bottom I have to replace that and put some insulation in. So off to Home Depot for drywall. So this is it. Rough weather dog doors in. I had to get some longer bolts because the opening I have is much too wide for the bolts that were in there, so I had to adapt what I had. But overall, it turned out okay. It took a lot longer than I thought. And if I had to do it again, I would not try to replace that 2x6 as a cripple stud. What I would do is put maybe a 2x4 on the side just to hold the drywall in place, and wedge it in there best I could. So much bigger job than I thought, but nevertheless, that's it. It's all done.